Welcome everybody, this is your favorite segment of the day or favorite time of the day. Welcome to Adobe Live for today. I am your amazing host for today, Brandon Groce, and I'm super excited to be here with you guys because we always get it started off right in the morning with getting started with Adobe XD. So with that said, I want to thank each and every one of you guys coming out today, and while we are at it, I would love to know where you guys are from, what you guys have planned for today, or if you're at home or work. Now, we have a couple things to do before we talk about what we're getting started with today, but I'll let you guys know what we're doing. We're going to be creating a movie app from scratch today, and we have quite a few things and tactics to go over with you today. Now, as you guys are chatting with us over on Behance, I want to say this. I know some of you guys are on YouTube as well, but here's the thing. I want you guys, for those of you guys who are on the tube of you, we're only reading the chat hands today, so if you guys are over on YouTube, I know our moderator at the moment is giving you guys the link to hop on over to Behance to join us there so we can chat with you guys here. So while you guys are maneuvering, I'll go through what we have scheduled for today and also say hi to some of you guys in the chat. We have Ken Diaz. Delay, guys. Let me know. Okay, we're starting to kick back a little bit. All right, we're good. Let me know if you guys are having some lag on your end. At 9:30 a.m. PT, we have Photoshop compositing with Colin Smith. We have 11:30 a.m. PT. We have Pre-Max Challenge with Kathleen Martin. We also have at 12 p.m. PT, we have Editorial Design with Carlos. At 2 p.m. PT, we have Draw Along with Kyle T. Webster. His name always is so fun to say. And then finally, to close out the day, we have 2:30 p.m. PT. We have Rework It, Flip It, and Reverse It. Some of my favorite music lyrics, specifically here from Adobe Live, with our tactical duo team. All right, guys. So with that said, there was some quick lag. If you guys are experiencing some lag, just refresh. We're here. We're here for this. But like I said, we're here. I'm going to say thank you guys in the chat. We have Kyle Mack, Nor. We have Tim here. Whoop, whoop. We are ready. All right, guys. So let's talk about what we are doing for today. And for those of you guys who are just have popped in on YouTube, come join us in the Adobe fam here on Behance. Tim, I'm sure, is in the chat bringing you guys on over. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty, guys. I'm gonna zoom in pretty quickly here. And like always, I like to bring you guys through what exactly we're going to learn today because I'm pretty sure it helps everyone here know what things to expect because we're here for an hour and a half and I want you guys to have an enjoyable ride and know what you're gonna get out of this. All right, so let's run through this. Hey, what's going on, Ariana? Welcome to Adobe Live. All right, so we're going to be creating a movie app called what I call Watch It. And we're going to be going through as quickly as possible to go throughout this flow and create what we have here. So the login, the sign up, well, not necessarily the sign up, the login sign up screen, the login screen, the initial homepage, and then being able to hopefully buy a ticket. But we'll see how far we can get with this today. Now, because we're doing a 2-day segment, today we're going to focus on building this, and we're going to try to build this out as quickly as possible using components, as well as some of the stuff that I've prepared beforehand, so that tomorrow we can just get to prototyping and animating it. If we can't design everything today, that's fine. We're going to prototype the entire thing tomorrow, so I'm super excited about that. All right, guys. You got people in the chat saying, Marvel spotted. Oh no, Tim, today 60 minutes. We really have to roll. Thank you for that correction. I'm so used to an hour and a half. See, Tim's got my back. He's got our back. All right, so let's begin. most of you guys are probably like, where do we start with this? And if you guys get lost at all and or want to know more in addition, because I'm going to be pulling a lot of assets from the sidebar just to, like Tim said, we have an hour today, so we have to roll quickly. That means we're stopping at 12:30. So if we get stuck, you guys have questions, just holler at me, be like, Brandon, skirt, pause. Can we break that down? And I'll happily do that. All right, so to begin with, just like I have here, I'm pulling in some of my background images just to save time. We're gonna start off with the login and sign up pages. Now, I am going to also, I have some of my logos here as well. This is why I really like having my assets panel set up, just so I have the ability to, I'm trying to like organize my other screen. Thank you guys. Trying to, you know, if I already have created something or if my team has created something, being able to actually pull things off from the sidebar to make designing what I'm trying to design a little bit faster. Whether you're using UI kits or if you're using, who knows, one of your team. All right, we're back. I don't know what was up with that, guys. In the chat, let me know if we're back. Refresh, we're back. Okay, awesome. Guys, Tim had to go fix my router really quick. Thank you so much. I have no idea. We did this all morning and there was no Wi-Fi problems. I've closed everything internet related, so we shouldn't be getting lag spikes like that again. All right, thank you guys for your patience. We have the team here. All right, so really quick, just because we lost time because of the internet, I'm just going to steal some of our copy here so we don't have to write it again. So I'm gonna copy and paste here, and I'm gonna, as you guys can see here, we have it in a scale mode. What we're gonna do is we're gonna click this icon over here, which will actually allow us to drag in some of this stuff here. But again, thank you guys for your patience. As we all know, in quarantine land or lockdown, internet is a little tricky, so I appreciate that. We have Marsha in the chat saying, just downloaded XD. We're happy that you've downloaded. You're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So again, for the sake of time, I'm going to drag the login and sign up buttons here on my artboard, but I'm glad to be back with you guys. I wanna ask, how's your guys' day going so far? Whether you're on Eastern time, Western time, somewhere else in the world, how are you? Let us know in the chat. Come on, Brandon, just download some more internet. I'm trying. I am trying, Tim. And for those of you guys on YouTube, thank you guys for your patience, but come on over to Behance. The internet is fine now. It's safe. All right, so simple enough. We have a welcome to watch it. You know what? Looking back at my previous design, I think it's actually more clean than, doing it like this. So we're gonna keep it how we have it. So page 1 is complete. And we did it very quickly with a background image, our logo, and very simply dragged our buttons from the assets panel. Now, if you really wanted to create these rounded buttons and you're like, Brandon, how do we do such things? It's very simple. You drag out a box. First off, turn off your borders. And right here, we have radius. I don't know what it's called. Corner radius. I was about to say radius amount. I was like, that's probably not the name. And we can very simply just round our corners, and you get to pick how round or how sharp these things are. So I'm just gonna go ahead and round it to about like 5. And I'm going to we're gonna make the see-through one. So I'm gonna turn off the fill, turn on the border, make that white. And I'm going to proceed to text inside of it, sign up. Now, again, what I wanted to show you guys is how powerful the sign up All right, guys. Whoo! Man, we're like barely hanging on. I don't know what's with the internet today. All right, guys. Me and Tim are like confused because we've been test streaming even before this. So let's see. It looks like the internet's trying to fight me. We're at like 600 KB. Hold 1 second, guys. Whew, man, today's gonna be a funky day. A funky day. Let's see. Tim and I are in the background trying to see if we can fix this. All right, but it looks like we're live, so we're gonna keep going. We're at the 4. It seems like we're fully live, so we're gonna keep rolling. If it happens again, guys, no worries. Stick along with us. We'll get through this together. All right. Appreciate your guys' patience. All right, so we're back. We need to get our page number 2. We have, time is slipping, so we need to get through this. All right, so let's do this. So we have my colors saved in my assets panel. So I'm gonna click on my page number 2. I'm gonna click my background color just like this. And we just have to clap it up for Tim really quick. He is holding it down on the tech side of things. The internet, for some reason, it's like, Brandon, you trying to do Adobe Live and trying to teach people? We do not like this. And so it's trying to take us down. So what we're gonna do here, because we're using some similar assets on this next artboard, I'm just gonna copy some of them on the side, or from our original artboard. Now, if you guys are still having some lag issues, just refresh. Paco is about to yell at me. We saw that we've not had any streaming problems whatsoever in the past week, and we have been good. All right, so we're gonna do welcome back. Please log in with your account, and let's do this. All right. Welcome back. And all we're gonna do is we are gonna take this, we're gonna copy and paste this because this is our paragraph text that we're going to be using. I'm gonna align everything here by selecting all of it, holding Shift and finding the left align tools just like this. And there we go. Welcome back. Please log back or log into your account. There we go. And I'm also going to make sure, because I don't want this extra space, I'm going to double click on that bottom bubble and it will actually resize to what we need. Next, just for reference, we are going to be creating our radius a rectangle, so we have a nice radius. We also need to create 2 sections here for inputting of the email, password, and also a link section just in case somebody forgot. And we also have our buttons and also the ability to sign in with our, social media icons. So let's get started. So all we're gonna do here is I'm gonna pull out a rectangle, just like this. Very simple. I'm gonna take that border away, and I'm going to grab that nice dark blue that we have in my color assets panel. I'm just gonna, from here, I think we can go a little bit darker than that. Let's see. I think right about there. And we're gonna take our radius, and here's the thing, guys. We don't have to do the radius of the entire thing. We can click this button just like this, and if you guys saw that, it goes from 1 radius, which basically controls all of the corners, or we can do uniquely all 4 corners. And for example, if I zoom in here, I know this is I'm gonna pull this off the artboard so you guys can see this. If I do all 4 corners, I can individually control how the corners are going to be manipulated. So I'm going to do 10 on the top 2, just like this, and the bottom will stay sharp. And I'm just gonna pull this in, just like this. David says, nice keyboard, by the way. I'm glad you like it. I've heard a lot of people, if you guys are not familiar with my live streaming on Behance, if you guys want to follow me, you can click on the right side of the chat here where you guys can follow me where I stream Mondays and Tuesdays early morning on Behance. A lot of people there have been like, you know what, Brandon, your keyboard is like therapy. All right. Let's see, where are we at now? So we have our rectangle. We need our email and our password. And guys, I do have those in the assets panel. And the reason why, if I'm moving too fast, just stop me. I will pause where we are and tell you exactly how I made these. But for the sake of the hour that we have for today, I'm going to be pulling some of the assets that I've already pre-created from the side panel here, or assets panel. Now again, I will show you guys how I've made these. They're not hard at all, but I'm just going to go ahead and center these right in here. We have our email, we have our password. And next, what we need is our login button. So again, I'm going to pull this out just like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to uncomponentize this. I'm just going to hit, this was our button from our previous here. But what I'm going to do here is Control-Shift-G. And I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to hold Alt. I'm going to pull this out just like this. So we have even padding on both sides. We have login here. And now we're going to go ahead and type just like this. Forgot password, question mark. And because Sean is asking, do you reuse assets you've made from project to project? Sean, that is an excellent question. I do. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of the, I'm one of the laziest people you'll ever meet. And I cut corners like no tomorrow. I remember as a kid, my teachers would be like, Brandon, can you make a square? And I kept giving them circles because I cut so many corners. But the reason why I do that is because in our industry, in any industry, time is money. And if I can cut time and spend the most time just on strategy and how exactly I'm going to solve the problem before I actually get into designing stuff physically, that is where the value is, not necessarily in the actual pushing of pixels. This is a skill set that we use to execute strategy. So that's why I like to reuse. So, and Marsha's asking, so assets are like a library to reuse things. Exactly. So for example, if let's say, let's do it like, let's start like this. So if I were to select all of these, right? I've just selected all of this. And there's 3 different elements. We have the title as one element, we have the logo as an element, yet a component, and then we also have this paragraph text as another element, but not a component. What I could do is, let's say we know that we're gonna have our logo, our heading, and the body paragraph in on other pages. Like for example, we kind of have that arrangement here. We have logo, we have a H1, and then we have body. What we could do is, for example, once I line these things up, I could make this a component by hitting Control-K. We would then have it in our assets library. It's right here called component 19, but we can rename this by right-clicking it and calling this logo, H1, and body. And what I could do, let's just pretend we're remaking this. So let's just put this down. And I'm just going to delete all these. I could pull this asset over here. Ta-da, we can line it up. And now we can just take our copy and just change it to whatever we need. So it spends a lot of time. Imagine just like when I was first redoing this, I dragged out the logo, I rewrote the text and all that stuff. It saves a lot more time if you know what reusable components you're going to use. For example, the buttons. That's why you see what you will make. I will make them one time. One time. The music is so excited about the libraries it stopped playing. The music, you guys don't hear the music any longer? It was excited. All right, guys, hold on. Let me put that back on. Thank you, Tim. I don't know why that happened. All right, that should be good. You guys should be able to hear that music. All right. Where were we? I hope I answered your guys' questions and that was of value to you guys. All right, next we have our login, and we're gonna go and drag, just like you guys were asking, we're gonna drag in our assets here for sign in. And if you don't want to sign in with email and or password, you can sign in with Twitter, Facebook, or Gmail. But before we get to that, I forgot that I was doing the forgot password. This was another thing that I wanted to show you guys and just how valuable the assets panel really is. So I already have the link style already here. I click it, it changes to exactly what I need, forgot password. And now this doesn't look so much like a link. So I'm gonna add a little bit. I'm gonna make it look like a link. So I'm going to make the password bold and a blue color, just like that. I highlighted it, and then I go to my assets panel and I click my link highlighted. So these are all the different stylings that I have prepared for this project. All right, I'm just gonna center this, and I think that might, let's check back. Don't have an account, register. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did here. Don't have an account, question mark, register. Now, instead of, like I said before, if I had to write this out and check, do all the colors and all that stuff manually, this is simple. I can just click link, highlight register, boom. Super easy. And there we go. So that's page 2. David says, kind of reminds me of paragraph styles in InDesign. Exactly. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go into our main page for today. So we're just going to hit A. We're gonna click our iPhone X. And we're just gonna drag this pretty far down because we're gonna have a lot to put on here. Gus says, the tie is sweet. Thank you, Gus. We have everybody come on. They were like, Brandon's internet is going down. Everybody from Behance is in deep. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, so next, also we need to pull in this status bar in our other pages here. So I'm gonna just paste them just like that. No need to drag anything out manually. We don't do that here. All right, next we need to grab our, let's see, I believe I have made first off, we have our navigation. I'll show you guys how to make this if we have time, but it's pretty simple. It's 4 icons, 4 text boxes, and a long text bar that is rounded. Let me know in the chat if you want to see how that's made. But I'm just going to put this at the bottom of our assets our layers or our artboard here just by selecting it in the artboard and selecting align bottom, just like this. Sean says we're missing Rufus. Indeed we are. All right, next, let's see. We need to grab our logo because we are making our navigation bar up here. So we need to do logo, search box, and then a filter. Super simple stuff to make. So I'm gonna just show you guys how I would do this. All right, let's just check something really quick. It's 20 pixels from the top. So I'm just gonna pull this in here, make sure we have about 20 pixels between the logo and the actual status bar. I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit. Actually, that is not gonna be fun. Hold on one second. Wow. Hold on, guys. There we go. I was trying to ungroup it and I ended up hitting K and it sent me to the original. All right, so I'm going to group this and let's see, it should scale. There we go. I had to ungroup the component and actually to scale it the way that I needed it to. So here we go, scaling it down proportionately, making sure roughly 20 pixels from the top. And now we're going to make our search bar. So we're gonna draw out a rectangle here, boom. We're gonna get our nice light blue color. We might darken that up a little bit. And now we're gonna go to our radius just like this. I'm gonna turn this baby all the way up. Get our text box inside, hitting T, type in search. And we are just gonna go to, let's see, our button type style. And you know what, we're gonna do a dark link, just like this, so search. And we can also add an icon to this very easily. I just want to show you guys this because this is an awesome plugin. You don't have, these are not the icons that I use, but I think this is very valuable for you guys to use. So I'm going to go to my plugins asset here. I'm going to go to icons for design. Hey, what's going on, Sam? How you doing, my friend? Type in search, and I get these wonderfully delicious icons here. I'm gonna go and make sure that it is a light color. I'm actually going to match it with this blue that I'm using here. So I'm gonna take this blue, pretty sure it's this one, yes. And I'm gonna make sure that our hourglass is the same color as our search. And as you guys saw, as I shrunk that down, the stroke stayed the same. So what I did is I just went into the size of the stroke and I just turned it down. I set it to 2, down from 3. David is asking, for icons and other assets, do you mostly make them in XD or AI or a bit of both? That's a great question, David. I usually take them from icons for design. I find it I'm all about working quicker, and especially as technology furthers and, deadlines and things move very quickly today. So if I am working with icons, I either outsource them from other freelancers if it's something super custom, or I use anything from icons for design or other asset libraries online, such as Flat Icon, and I think there's Noun Project and a few other things like that. But I like these questions, David. Who else has any questions on what we're going over for today? Because I know it's quite a bit. Oh, we have search, filter. We're just going to do the same thing here. So I'm just going to pull this. I'm going to hold Alt to duplicate our nice rounded button here. Oops. I'm going to make sure that is in alignment with everything that we have. I'm going to pull this out a little bit further. And you know what? I'm actually going to scale this a little bit more. I'm going to send this to 2. I think that's better. And now I'm going to hold Alt, bring that into our other circle. I'm going to type in filter. Just like that. Boom. All right. Now let's make sure that our search is taking up this space. And I'm going to show you guys, so we want to make sure we are at least taking up. I'm going to do, let's do 40 on this side, and we're going to do, actually we're going to do 20 on each side. 20, and I'm going to zoom in to bring in these guides. And if you guys want to know how to pull in these guides, literally just hover your mouse on either edge of the artboard here and just pull them. If you want like a horizontal one, you pull from the top. If you want a vertical one, you pull from the left. So I'm going to pull this way. I'm going to extend this out just a little bit. I'm going to bring the filter all the way to this side and pull this out. Marsha, what is icons for design part of XD? So this is how you would download it. It is a plugin of XD. So if you're on Windows and or Mac, all you have to do for Windows specifically, if you go to your plugins, just right here, it's the last icon on the left. You click your plus button here and you have discover. Basically, these are all the hottest plugins for Adobe XD. You can go to browse, and icons for design is one of the hottest ones, so it's the second in line here. But if it doesn't show up for you, all you have to do is type in icons for design. And for some reason, when I put the exact name, it doesn't show up. Let's see, hold on. Let's just type in icons. There we go. Just type in icons. It's the fourth one from the left, and you just have to click it. And I already have it installed, but once you click it and you don't have it installed, you can install it and use it for all your projects. All right, so now that we have the bar, we can move a little bit quickly on these things. This stuff is a little bit easier. For the sake of time, because I want to show you guys something specific, or at least one of the coolest, my favorite parts. I'm going to take this navigation bar here. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to pull it down here. And for our next bits here, we're going to start pulling in some of our movie assets. So I'm going to pull in our rectangle here, again, turning off that border. Exactly, no, it's a plugin. And I'm going to round the corners on some of this stuff. And I'm going to also press E on my keyboard, and I'm going to make some of this, because we're going to have a lot of movies. So I'm going to make some circles for navigation here for our featured movies. And I'm going to also scale these down. Hold on. So I'm going to scale it to about like 5, width and height, 5, and 5. Make sure that these, I'm going to turn the opacity on those down to 5. Just hitting 5 on my keyboard, it goes down. Now, for those of you guys who know about Adobe XD and the possibilities that it has, let me find my references here. I think I was so frantic when the internet was going down. I closed one of my folders. But here we go. Super easy. So what I'm going to do here is I actually have a whole bunch of files or photos. And what I can do is I'm actually, instead of Milan, I'm going to actually pick our Wonder Woman photo, just like this. And what I can do, actually, let's see, because you know what, Milan might be better because I think it actually does not have the title. All right, so let's see. We have title here. So this is what we're gonna do. We have 3 portions that I think are the most important here. What I want to deconstruct for you guys is how to not only put images in, but also how to stack content like this and also making slider content like this, especially when we get to the prototyping stuff tomorrow. It's going to be very beneficial for you guys. We have Gus, Sam, we have, I think even Paco is in here. How you guys doing? How's your day? And David, I'm glad it is super useful. Is there anyone else in the chat who, you know, so far what we have gone over, are there any questions? David is definitely getting his money's worth, well, his time's worth out of today. And I want to make sure it's, you know, what we're doing today is of value to you guys. So I'm going to go back to my assets panel here, because this is what I want to showcase to you guys. Actually, let me get this title in very quick. I don't even know how to spell Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, I'm going to go over to my assets panel. I'm just going to click, let's see, I think body, nah. We're going to do the button sizing here. We might even scale that down a little bit. And one thing I will do also is I'm actually going to duplicate. I'm going to double click in here. Actually, I'm going to copy, paste. What I would like to do, let's see if this works. Yeah, here we go. So I want to make a little bit of an overlay just so it makes it easier to actually read Wonder Woman because it's already looking pretty hard to read. One thing I find that a lot of my students that I teach, they're like, how do you do the overlays on photos? So I'm going to just go to linear gradient. I'm going to make sure both of these are a dark blue because those are the colors that we're choosing. I'm going to click the topmost here and I'm actually going to turn the opacity down just like this. And it kind of looks like there's a line here. I don't know why. I bet it's because we have that photo in the background. So let's see here. Dun dun. Actually, guys, we're just gonna make a whole new rectangle. Because that line, for some reason, wasn't liking us. We were trying to be nice, we were trying to play nice, but it was like, All right, here we go. Linear gradient, we're gonna do the same thing. Actually, I like this gradient a lot more. So I'm just gonna select this gradient knob right here. You can see which one it is. If I select this one, it highlights this. If I select this one, it highlights the top one. Top one is the one that we wanna make opaque. I'm gonna grab the opacity slider, drag that all the way down. And I am going to pull this so I wanna make sure that it's not showing anything in the background here. I think that's good. And all I'm gonna do, because we have 3 layers. We have Wonder Woman, we have the text Wonder Woman, and we have the gradient. All I'm gonna do is, without looking at my layers, I'm gonna hit Control and the left bracket to make sure that the gradient layer that we have selected goes behind Wonder Woman. So now we have the image, the gradient, and then Wonder Woman in front. And if I wanted to, I can go back in here and I can actually pull down this gradient if it's too strong for us. We just want it at the bottom here. And even if the bottom is too strong for us, we can go and select that knob and turn it down a little bit. And I'm just gonna move this down by 1 pixel because there was like a line I didn't like. All right, I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna turn it to our blue, because that is what we have selected. And I might even bring these back to full opacity. And a little smaller, a little smaller. There we go. All right, next, let's go back to our assets panel. We have some questions in the chat. I see you guys. I see you guys. Starter XD plan says plugins are available via Adobe, but can't find that option. Marsha, hey, Tim, can we answer that question for Marsha? Jack, how do you keep spacing consistently while creating the visual hierarchy you want? That is a great question. So what I like to do, and I'll show you as I'm moving to this next portion here. So specifically with this section here, we have hot videos section. I'm going to ungroup this so I can specifically answer your question. So we have a couple assets here, right? So let's say we have two sections here. We have the top row and we have the bottom row. Number one, Adobe already does a little bit of that help with you. So for example, it's reading the spacing between this row of content and this row of content. For example, if I bring this, I'm not holding anything on my keyboard. If I just get close, start moving this group of assets to another one, it will start to tell me, hey, the spacing between what you are moving, what you're holding, and then this other, it basically tells you the pixel, what is the word I'm looking for? The spacing of pixels between this group and this group and this group are equidistant. That's a big word. That's the biggest word you're gonna get from me today. There's 20 pixels. But to answer your question on how, if that's not there for me, is how do I make sure that my spacing is the same? So if I take this and I just hold Alt, right? Let's say it's not even, we're trying to space something a little bit different. If I select this and I hold Alt and so if I'm just holding Alt, what it does, it's comparing the spacing between any of the closest edges. So for example, right now I'm holding Alt with that second row and it's saying from each side of that asset you have 20 pixels on the left and right, and from the top you have 625, and from the bottom you have 1539. I don't know why 39 is really difficult to read. And so that is how I do that. And anything that I point at, it will start to compare. So if I point at this group, it says there's 49 pixels. If I point at this group, it'll say from what you've selected in this other thing you're hovering over. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I'm gonna zoom in here. It says right here, if you guys look, it says 244. So that anything that you point at while you're holding Alt, it tries to compare where you are in pixels. That's a great question. And guys, also let me know. I think we're on to something. Usually when I'm on here, I try to get through the entire thing because I think you guys like seeing the entire thing built, and also it's a cool thing for us to do. But if it's a lot more valuable for us to just go through something that is a really cool design and just kind of break down how I would piece it together, and that's a lot more valuable, that's some awesome feedback, not only for us, but for the Adobe team. All right. So we are here. I'm gonna bring this back to where we were, 20 pixels. And guys, let's just say I don't like any of these pictures, or I wanna kinda, I want Bloodshot in the middle here, I want Dark Phoenix on the left. Obviously, I can move it over like this and move it over like that, but there's a smarter way now. There's a smarter way. So in this, I'm gonna just ungroup this for right now. I'm gonna select all these. I'm going to group it, and I'm also going to select stacks here, which will allow me to actually move things within a group without having to do any of the mess that we did prior. So that's one new cool thing. Another thing is, and I just forgot because I was so excited about stacks. Give me a second here. I think it was stacks. I think I was just thinking about stacks twice. Sam saying, Marsha, okay, you're answering that question. Thank you, Sam. Question from Nora. What are the mandatory elements the app developer will ask you after the prototype is finalized? Or do you first receive development guideline recommendations? That's a really good question, Nora. Let's see how much time we have. We literally have 15-ish minutes. So with development, it's very simple, especially if we're in Adobe XD. Literally anything. So what a developer is going to look for is what are the assets, what are the different typography, colors, typography, colors, assets that you're using for your design build. And also they will need to know things like what are the spacing between assets, what are the actual margins, and all that good stuff that you're using. When you actually, for example, let's just do this for right now. If I go to share, and I go to, it changes XD 100% differently. And I go to, over here in the right-hand corner, we have a couple options. We have design review. This is an option that you would actually send to your design team so they can actually see your artboards and how you made it. Development, we're just gonna do this for right now, just so you guys can see this. I think this is a very important part, and I don't think we really answered this question on getting started. So like I said, what's very important for developers is being able to download the assets that you have. So I'm gonna just click that. And so what this will do, this functionality of XD, is anyone with this link will actually be able to download your assets and see how you've built your app. So we're just gonna create a link here. Hey, what's going on, Michelle? And guys, let us know in the chat if this is beneficial to you. I know I'm answering questions here, but let us know if this is helpful to you, because as we do more lives, or as I do more lives with you guys, I want to be able to explain more of these features to you, because this is what's going to be very beneficial to your workflow. So I'm opening this link here. I'm waiting for it to load. And so what we have, I'm just going to scale this down a little bit. We have our 13 different pages. We have our different, we have our pages here. And so as you guys can see, we're in the comment section. I can have my team come and place a pin and make a comment. But more importantly, back to the dev question, if I go to this code portion here, I can actually, as a developer, come in here and click different assets and see the spacing, the colors of different elements. I can also, for this logo, this is an asset. If I click on it, I can actually download it as an SVG, if that's what it is. So I just really wanted to answer that question, because I think 100% this is more beneficial than seeing something really cool watching me design. So if you guys dig that, that breakdown right there, please put one in the chat just so I have that feedback. All right, so let's continue. We are going back to our design portion of XD, and we're gonna pull in our slider stuff here. So this is another thing I wanted to explain. So we went over stacks so far. Next, I kind of want to talk about the scrolling feature, and we'll talk a little bit about this tomorrow as well. So I'm gonna just line this up with our grids here. Let's see. So as you guys see, it tells us that 20 pixels is a repeating pixel spacing that we've used, but since this is a new section, we don't want that. Tom says he digs it. Who else digs it? I know Ariana said she digged it as well. So I'm gonna pull this down just a little bit. I think we want to pull this down just a bit. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna shorten. I'm gonna duplicate this, make it another 50, just like that. I'm gonna just press 1 up here. And I can always change the photos here. So if this is a component, I know I use a lot of sliders, I basically can duplicate it. I can go to my folders asset. Let me go in. I think I closed it again, but it's all good. I'm gonna go and find that really quick. It is on my desktop. So, dun, dun, dun. It's like fishing. I'm glad I came a little organized today, guys, and I really appreciate it. Megan says, dig it. Hey, what's going on, Megan? It's good to see you again. So if I just wanted to change some of these photos, I can easily just drag in any photo and replace. Let's see, what happened there? Oh, okay, that was correct. I can just replace any of the photography, as simple as that. So simple stuff. This is why I like to use components in the side, because if I know I'm going to use a certain functionality over and over and over again, it's easy to change. And instead of movie theaters, I can also put near you. I'm also gonna make sure that this is left in line here. Wait, I see everything on the screen, but there's no hamburger menu. 3 lines. Would you like there to be a hamburger menu? We don't do hamburger menus here. The reason why we don't need a hamburger menu is I'm not sure when you popped in, Marsha, but that's a good question. Where's the navigation? The navigation was all the way at the bottom. No need for a hamburger. We've already eaten. It's right here. All right. So back to, let's talk about this slider functionality really quick. I'm going to ungroup this for now just to explain this functionality. I'm going to group these cards, however. And now what I can do, we have this new horizontal scroll and vertical scroll. What I'm going to do is I am just going to click horizontal scroll, and it's already done the magic for me. It knows where the edge of my artboard is. And when we actually go to prototype here, and we scroll down to the exact, I believe it's this one. Yeah, it has a little bit of scrolling. What I can do, very simple, let's see. How do we want, dun, dun, dun. Because that is the edge of the, but we want a little bit more space, right? We want that card to come all the way in. But for shortness and for brevity, that is how you get that scrolling animation. And as you guys can see, there is some cutoff here. The way we fix that is very simple. We just drag this all the way to that edge as well so we don't get any of that cutoff. 1, 2. And when we have more time tomorrow, we will actually be doing this to the full capacity we can. So let's see. But that is how now we can do some of our scrolling. Let's see if we do this. Let's just play with this a little bit. I think what it does is it takes the, I bet I know what we can do. But again, guys, we'll focus on this tomorrow because I guarantee you if I just add another one of these to the side, we'll be able to, like this, for example. If I go 1, 2, 3, or just take the group. We have this here. We're going to do stacks. I'm going to copy paste. There we go. And that's another thing of stacks. I literally can continuously copy with stacks enabled. I literally can copy and paste this to infinity, and the next card knows where to go. And even though it's Spider-Man, I can go back into my assets panel, drag in another photo, and have it changed. Looking at some of your questions, guys. Hey, what's going on, Mallory? Yes, Nora, I am on Windows. There's some funny questions in the chat. All right, let's see. Doing a time check here. We got about 5 minutes for today. Let's see what else we need to do for right now. So we have our filters. We have the hot, the near you. Boom, boom, movie theaters coming soon. And I think we're done with that page. And guys, regardless of where we are for right now, tomorrow we are going to try to prototype as much of this tomorrow. That is the main goal of tomorrow's hour. So wherever we get in the next 5 minutes is fine, but I really want to spend the next 5 minutes answering any of the questions or wanting to go back to anything that we've talked about today, whether it's assets panels. Let me just bring this back up. One thing I will do is talk about this this nav bar here, because there's a couple ways to do it now, right? So back in, let's see, I'm gonna try to drop this immediately on top of, there we go. I'm going to click fixed position because we don't want this as we're scrolling, we don't want that to move. And there's a couple ways of doing this now. I'm going to show them with the last couple minutes we have here, is in addition to any of your guys' questions. So as you guys can see, our nav bar stays where it should be as we're scrolling. Now again, what you could do, another way of doing this, we could close this entire thing. Before I actually close it, I'm going to pull this off. Time check. All right, we have about 3-ish minutes. I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to group it, and I am going to select our horizontal scroll. And now with this, I am actually going to pull this up, I think right about here. I think that should be fine. And now with this bottom part, I'm actually going to pull it right at our viewport end. That way, I can make this entire phone the size that it should be, bring back our navigation, press play, and now I can still, wait, did I play the right one? I think that, yeah, there we go. I can still scroll within the entire thing. This is one of the new features of Adobe XD where you can keep the phone its actual size and still be able to scroll. And as you guys can see, it actually keeps this fixed as well. Whereas in our previous version, right? If we go back here, everything scrolls. So the benefit of doing it the other way, let's say you have some features, or you have a search bar and some navigation at the top that you would like to stay sticky along with the navigation, we take this approach. Marsha says, I'm gonna watch this again. Good. It is most important that you not only watch it again, but that you also hit the like button to show. No, I'm just joking. I'm glad you dig it, Marsha. I think there's some questions regarding the plugins. Top-notch design, love it. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Tom. We appreciate you. All right, so we are about 1 minute out, guys. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them before we get cut off here. But I want to say, as we move on in, I want to say thank you guys so much for sticking around. For those of you guys on YouTube and Behance, I want to thank you for your patience. We had a little bit of a rocky start, but guess what? We made it and we learned some things. I want to thank you guys who asked the questions in the chat, because I wasn't planning on answering any of those or going over any of those things today. And the fact that you guys asked them, we were able to jump in. So with that said, guys, I want to thank you. I want you guys to hit that like button if you haven't already. And I want to say, if you guys want more of this, come join same time tomorrow, and I'll see you then. So with that said, guys, thank you so much. Matt says, I love your streams. We love you. We'll be here tomorrow, same time. All right, guys, I'll be in the chat for a little bit, but until then, your boy Brandon Groce, your favorite designer and hype beast, is out. And if you guys want to join more with me on Mondays and Tuesdays, I live stream on my own channel on Behance, so don't forget to follow me on Behance on the sidebar. So until then, see you tomorrow. Peace. Wrong button.